Hi guys, welcome back to another Minimum Wager's Kitchen. I'm Gigi, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make some really delicious banana honey almond bread. This is a great addition to any breakfast or brunch, by the way, and also to very tasty toasted. Also delicious anytime. Well, I'm excited to make this recipe for you, so let's get started, shall we? Alright, you guys, so for the first thing that we want to do is preheat this oven at 350. There we go. And while that preheats, let's go ahead and go through our ingredients. For our ingredients today, we'll start out with 2 cups of just regular all-purpose flour, a half cup of just regular granulated sugar, and 2 very ripe bananas smashed. Next ingredient will be 2 eggs, and go ahead and just give those a quick whip. Next will be a half cup of just regular heavy whipping cream, a half cup of honey, 1 teaspoon of almond extract, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and a half teaspoon of baking powder. Next ingredient will be a half cup of salted butter, and make sure that's softened. And for the last ingredient, that's going to be 1 cup of sliced almonds. Alright, you guys, so the topping is optional, and really all it is, it's a 1/4 cup of the sliced almonds and a drizzle of honey. And that's really for that whole loaf, by the way. Alright, you guys, let's go ahead and put this recipe together. So for the recipe today, I'm going to go ahead and dump the sugar in here and add our salted butter. And guys, the reason I use salted butter a lot of times, it's because that way you don't have to add that pinch of salt. It's already in there. Alright, and with a hand mixer, we're going to go ahead and fluff up our sugar and butter. And as you know me, go ahead and just crush your butter down, start on low. That way you don't get sugar all over the place. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and cream the sugar and butter together. This will take about 2 or 3 minutes. It won't take very long. And I'll show you what it looks like in just a few moments. Alright, so butter and sugar are creamed together, so that's all nice and fluffy. So the next step is going to be adding our smashed bananas. So that was 2 bananas. And I'm going to go ahead and add our egg here. Right in there. And our cream. And now we mix again. And I'm going to go ahead and do this on low. And I really want to get that butter and sugar that's already so nicely fluffy and blended in with the rest of these ingredients. This will also give a much better consistency too for the end product for our banana bread. So go ahead and mix this too for about a minute or so. And then you should be good to go to add your other ingredients. And I'll show you here the next steps in just a moment. Alright, so all of our wet ingredients are mixed in, except for the honey and the almond extract. So there you go, that's what it should look like. And let's go ahead and put that teaspoon of almond extract in here as well. So just 1 teaspoon. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add that half cup of honey. The baking powder and the baking soda. And for the next ingredient, I'm going to go ahead and add just 1 cup of that AP flour, so half of the amount that's on here. And now we mix on low. This will be pretty quick, about not even a minute. And let me actually show you real quick. So just with that 1 cup of flour, there you go. And now I'm going to go ahead and add that last cup and that cup of almonds. And make sure those are sliced almonds. And what I mean by sliced almonds, I mean shaved almonds. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and mix this for about a good 2 minutes just to make sure everything gets incorporated. It's okay if those pieces of almonds break up a little bit. We definitely want to do that so that way you get a lot of that flavor coming out of them as that bread is baking. So let's go ahead and start on low. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and finish mixing this, and I'll show you what the batter should look like when it's done. Be back in just a few moments. Wow, you guys, that batter smells delicious. Let me go ahead and show you here. It's quite the yield. So this is actually going to make 2 8x4 pans. So today what I'm going to do with all this batter is I am going to go ahead and make one of the loaf pans here, which is the 8x4. I picked these up at a discount store, and what they are, so they're basically pre-lined and everything. All you do is you just put your batter in here and you're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and test these out and see how they come out in these little guys. And by the way, for the instructions, definitely check too, because I noticed that some of these were like you could only bake them at certain temperatures. Thankfully, these were at 400, and our batter today, it's actually going to be baked at 350. And it'll also let you know too how long it'll take for these little guys to bake off compared to this big guy. This big guy is going to take about an hour or so. So my oven is preheated now at 350, ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and dump half of the batter into the 8x4 pan, and of course you see that that is lined, and you're going, well, how do I do that? Well, let me show you. There's actually a very, very easy way. So all I did was I lined it up this way, and then I just doubled the amount all around, covering the whole surface here. Then next, all you do is you pop this guy right in the middle, and you grab a pair of scissors, and you can just cut right here where the end of your pans are. And that's going to be on each side right here. And I'll show you here real quick. There you go. And paper right there. So when you put this guy in, there is no fuss in the world. Basically, it does its own thing, and just boom, you're done. And by the way too, if you do cut on the sides right here and you're like, oh my gosh, my batter's gonna go all underneath, don't worry about that. You're actually really good to go. No big deal. All right, well, let's start pouring. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour half of the batter into our 8x4 pan. All right, so there you go. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of spread this out, even it out here. And guys, also too, parchment paper. If you're buying parchment paper like at a discount store, definitely check and see how much temperature it can take, because I've run into a couple of issues before where I thought I was getting a great deal, and then I looked at the back of the packaging and I was like, oops, I'm never gonna be able to use this. Alright, you guys, so this one is filled with half the batter. Alright, so now that our batter is set aside here, let's go ahead and work with the rest of the batter we have available. I'll go ahead and start with 3. Let's see. Because that loaf pan is filled halfway, I think I'm going to go ahead and do the same exact thing with these. Typically with like muffins and breads, I'll do like 3/4 of the way, but hey, we're having fun and experimenting. So let's see what happens. Alright, you guys, so everything is poured into the 8x4 pan, and 3 of these guys. So we'll go ahead and test these out, and what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to go ahead and put these on a cookie sheet here. Whoops. On a cookie sheet without spilling it everywhere. And let's go ahead and pop these in the oven. Alright, you guys, so for the banana loaf, that's going to be about an hour, and I'll go ahead and watch that. It can take about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, depending on your oven and also too with your pan. But for the 3 little guys in there, for the smaller ones, I'm going to go ahead and watch those, and I'm going to wait about 25 minutes, check on those, and after they bake, I'll let you know how long they take. See you in just a moment. Alright, you guys, it looks like this banana bread is ready to come out of the oven. So let me go ahead and turn off the oven here. And let's take a look. Ooh. Also very hot. Let me just put this down so I don't burn myself here. Alright, you guys, so for the banana loaf, look at that. Isn't that nice? And it rose quite a bit, so I'm excited to see this. I'm going to say it's probably about that thick. You know, it's not super crazy. And then, I have to sniff this again. Oh my gosh, it smells amazing. And then with these guys, so these actually took about 25 to 30 minutes or so to bake off. And again, with the loaf pan, that was about an hour. So let's go ahead and take a look at the ones in the cups. So here are the ones in the baking cup. Yeah. They came out really nice. Some chunks of banana in there. I also have the luxury of a little bit of sunshine right now, so I'm taking advantage of that for natural lighting. Look at that. So yum. Alright, you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and let these cool down for about, well, at least for that guy, an hour to an hour and a half, and these guys have a little bit long to go. So, when I come back, I'll show you how to put on those toppings, and we'll get to taste them out. Alright, you guys, I'll see you in just a few moments. Alright, you guys, so while everything cools down, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get these shaved almonds here toasted here on a little tiny pan. You don't have to have a tiny pan, by the way, just had one available. So what I did is I turned my heat up to high. I'm going to go ahead and turn it now to medium-low. Now that this pan's pretty darn hot, this is going to go pretty quick. So now these are shaved raw almonds, and what I want to do is get them a little bit toasty to put on top of our banana bread. So here we go, you guys. Let's go ahead and dump these right in. Alright, so now all I'm going to go ahead and do is just kind of move this around for a little bit here. Grab yourself a spoon. So you'll know they're starting to get toasty. And it's at the right temperature because you'll hear a slight sizzle here. And now I'm just going to let these sit here for about 10-15 seconds at a time. And then just keep stirring for a good minute. What I want to do is get these guys golden brown, and when I'm done with these, I'll show you what they look like, so that way you know, so you don't burn them. Alright, you guys, so the almonds are toasted and pretty much done here. That took about a minute and a half, and I'll show you here. Nice and golden. I did go ahead and taste one here, and I'm going to go ahead and taste another one. And that way, you know they're ready. You should get that really just almondy, toasty, nutty flavor out of it. Alright, so I'm going to put these aside to let them cool for just a few moments here, and here we go, you guys. So now we have our yummy banana honey almond bread here, and our mini ones as well. I guess they would be mini, huh? Alright, you guys, now that everything is cooled down, including the big boy here, the big loaf, and the mini loaves, and our toasted almonds as well, I'm going to go ahead and start with these little guys here. So I'm going to put this loaf aside for a moment, And let's get started with our topping. All right, super easy, guys. So all you have to do is make sure you have like a squeezy bottle or something that you can drizzle with. So that way it makes it a little bit easier. But all really we're gonna do is barely drizzle some honey on the top. And let me show you how much. That's how much. Looks really pretty. So we'll go ahead and do that to all three here. And if you put too much, just wipe it off and start over. That's it. So let me go ahead and show you guys. That way you can kind of see here. I'm not going to lift this too much because they are going to slide right off. But that way you can see at least the honey on there. I'll lift one up here to make this a little bit easier. There you go. And for the next step, our toasted almonds here. Go ahead and just grab a pinch and just put them on top. Your almonds should really just, kind of organically stick to the honey, so. And you really don't need that much. Remember, these already have a good cup of the shaved almonds as well, so. Well, you guys, these look great. So one last tip for you for this, it's just give it a quick little pat and just on the almond pieces so that they stay onto the honey there. Well, these look delectable. Check that out. Yum. That looks so cute. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and move on to the big loaf. For the big loaf, the nice thing is with this parchment paper, you really should be able to just lift it right up, and there we go. All right, so I just went ahead and put a piece of paper towel underneath because, well, it does have quite a bit of butter and cream and whatnot, so I don't want to get it all over the counter. So for this one, wow, that came out nice. Ooh. And it smells heavenly. Well, I'm excited about trying these out, so I'm going to go ahead and get this topping on here, show you how, and then get everything plated up, and let's go ahead and taste everything, shall we? Alright, you guys, let me show you how to put the topping onto the big loaf. So what I like to do, because, well, it looks cute, go ahead and start from the corner, and there we go. Now you'll notice too, I'm not going overboard on the honey. Here's why. You can refrigerate it afterwards this way by not adding a ton of honey, and that'll help it too so it stays moist, but then it doesn't get soggy on you. Plus, don't forget too, there's a half cup of honey in that batter, so. Alright guys, so for the loaf, as you saw, I like to do the honey this way, and then I start going towards the middle first. Because I want to make sure that I'm using all of the remaining almonds, but also too, making sure I can disperse them evenly. So yes, I start from the middle first and then go ahead and get the sides. And really that amount of topping should be enough for those 2 loaves, or the 3 little loaves, and the big boy. Alright, so tip of the day for the loaf, go ahead and put the rest on the center here, and just kind of make a line. And then all you're going to do is press down. Some of the almonds will fall off. Well, that looks delectable. Alright, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and plate this up, and I'll be back to go ahead and taste these with you. See you in just a moment. Alright, you guys, so now that everything is nicely cooled off, we've got our toppings on here and everything, let me go ahead and show you how to cut this. You'll definitely want a serrated knife for this, by the way, so here's some options for you. You can use like a serrated bread knife, or even too, if it's long enough, a steak knife that's serrated as well. As long as you get the teeth right there, I think you're pretty much good to go. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start with this one here. And what I like to do with this, because you can toast this if you want to, I definitely suggest using the oven if possible when toasting this. But if you don't have the oven, accessible right there and then, or you're in a hurry, and if you don't have, like the oven accessible or it's going to take you too long, go ahead and use your toaster. You can go ahead and toast it on low and just make sure once it starts browning, go ahead and take it out of the toaster oven. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this about that thick here. And I'll show you. The first piece, of course, that'll be the baked end. So I'm going to go ahead and cut another slice here. And do mind, some of that topping does fall off. And what you can do is just put it right back on top. Alright, so here's the slice, guys. Yum, look at that. Mmm. Oh, that smells so good. Ooh, even better. Look at all the banana pieces and all that inside. The almonds on the top, almond pieces. Oh, I can't wait to try this. Alright guys, so now that we have that sliced open, go ahead and put this aside for just a second here. And grab our minis. So for our minis, there you go, that's what it looks like. And I'm going to go ahead and cut into this one first here. Open this up. Oh. Get this guy out of here. There we go. And because this guy's smaller, I'm going to go ahead and use that steak knife. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it right in half, because you know me, I'm going to show you the inside to show you how that batter baked off. Wow, that is moist, delicious, smells really good. Well, let me go ahead and cut this in 4 here. Make it a little bit easier to try, for sure. Oh, that smells so good. Wow. All right, I am excited about trying this as well. All right, you guys, everything is plated. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and start with the little guy here. But I did want to show you how these came out, and look at that. Yum! They came out so yummy. Let me not knock these all over. And then, of course, that rest of the loaf there. And the other 2 minis. Alright, you guys, I'm so excited. Let's go ahead and try out the first mini banana honey almond bread. Take a little slice here. Ooh, look at that. That came out delicious. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and break this up and give that tender middle a taste. Mmm. Oh my gosh. Wow. What I really, really, really like is that I don't taste as much of the sugar. I'm tasting more of the banana. I'm tasting definitely more of the honey. The almond, barely of the almond extract, which is really nice because I typically don't like that over flavor of like almond extract. And that cream. That cream really pops too. And the pieces of almond inside, that toasted almond at the beginning with the honey, super yummy. This batter came out absolutely just fluffy. And again, let me show you. That is some pillow fluffiness. I'm gonna have to have the rest of this little bite. So good. Wow. Well, I gotta say that this was really good. But I do want to see the texture because this is thicker. It was in the oven for a longer time. Let's see if it has the same consistency. So I'm going to go ahead and take this piece, which was the very tender middle, and don't mind me here, break it right in the center. That way I can show you what that looks like. And pretty much the same consistency. Very, very moist, very spongy, very pillow-like. Alright, so let's go ahead and try the tender middle of this loaf. And I am talking about this slice right here that I took off. Oh, I'm so excited. Amazing. And now I'm going to go ahead and have that crunchy almond topping and see what that crust is like. Even better, you guys. Toastiness. Oh my goodness. The honey on top, just enough, not like overkill. And then you start biting into the actual banana bread and get all these wonderful flavors. It's fantastic. Yum! And again, it's not super sweet. You do get that honey at the beginning just because of that drizzle, but it's not overkill. So again, you guys, I really think this one is great for like brunch or breakfast, but it is really good anytime. Well, I practically ate a whole slice, so I'm going to go ahead and put this down for just a second before I decide to eat the whole thing. And what the hell? What? It's got bananas. It's good for you, right? Well, you guys, before I continue snacking on all of this, don't forget to hit like, don't forget to hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can find more videos. And by the way, did you know I have more than 20 videos up now? You can totally binge watch. Yay! Well, you guys, I had an absolutely great time making this delicious banana honey almond bread for you today, and I hope you get to try out the recipe, and if you do, definitely leave me a comment. Also, too, let me know what you'd like to see next. And in the meantime, I will see you on the next Minimum Wagers Kitchen. See you next Saturday. Bye. 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 Bye.